Good afternoon, class. My name is Dr. Araipur, and you can call me Dr. A if it is easier for you. Here's your virtual course. Welcome to your virtual course. I have already sent you several emails regarding the course to explore that. And now we are here. Here's the homepage of Canvas. And I put them in numerical order so you can follow. Number one, you want to there was a welcoming message for a minute, welcoming you to the course. I'm happy to have you here. Number two is the class philosophy. Let's quickly look at that.
Class philosophy. This class is a community and therefore, we all have the same objective, to learn. Online students often feel isolated, but it is vitally important to know you are not in this alone. I would like each of you to approach our online class with a great attitude and a willingness to help one another. Many problems and questions can be resolved by asking a fellow student. I am always here to help you, but I truly believe your experience will be more fruitful if you communicate with your fellow students as well. Let us work together to make this a memorable semester for each and every one of us. Course objectives. The primary objectives of our precalculus trigonometry include the foundational principles of trigonometry, which explores the relationship between the sides and angles of triangles. It uses geometrical constructions to determine the measurement of angles from the ratio of the lengths of the sides. The course starts with the review of functions and graphs, and moves on to basics of trigonometry, angles, degrees, triangles, and will proceed to cover trigonometric functions and their graphs, trigonometric identities, trigonometric equations, laws of sine and cosine, complex numbers, the complex plane, and De Moivre's theorem. Instructor's contact information. Email me via Canvas or use the email address era.eraeipor@csulb.edu, and I reply from Monday to Friday within 24 hours.
Going back to the homepage of Canvas, everybody. I'm going to put this in student mode. The next one, number three, is the announcements. And normally I send them in the form of email/announcements. In other words, if you miss that, you can always find it right here. For example, exams are password protected. You can find them under the announcements. Going back to the homepage. The next number is number 4, which contains the syllabus, modules, so on and so forth. But before that, I want to mention this one. As you can see, it says the Zoom meeting on the left side. This one is the Zoom meeting that we meet. All you have to do, join the course. However, going back to the homepage of Canvas at the bottom, this Zoom meeting is the office hours, so we don't want to mix them up. Now, number 4, you can click on the syllabus right here or on the left navigation bar here, makes no difference. We have the Excel calendar and the syllabus. As far as the Excel calendar is concerned, roughly every few weeks we have an exam. So we have a couple of items coming up, a mandatory introduction assignment to your digital platform, my OpenMath, which I'm going to call it MOM from now on, short for my OpenMath, and the algebra review. Then every 3-4 weeks we have an exam. I have set up all the exams to be due on Saturday, so you relax and you do a good job on that. Here's the syllabus. Again, welcoming you to your virtual course first. Information about the course, the section number, and so on. Again, the Zoom meeting. Then, because nowadays syllabi are getting larger and larger, I'm going to put them in a topic format so you can go to a topic of interest, for example, your grading policy. So here's what's happening. Here's the course goal, materials, SLOs, text. The text is free, so is the digital platform. And you can click on it here, or when I go to my OpenMath, I'll show you everything from A to Z. This is a short version of a class calendar. Again, every few weeks we have an exam. So that's what it tells us. All exams take place on Saturdays except the final, which is comprehensive and is set by the campus. Okay, everybody. Um, Schedule of the final exams, meetings, calculators. Um, I put some information how you can get a free calculator online so you don't have to pay for anything. I believe education should be free. Tech support from the campus, from Canvas, from your digital platform. The Math Tutorial Center, we have the website in case you want to get more information about it. Grading policy is very simple. We have exams worth 400 points. Each one is 100 points. There are four of them. Homework, Introduction to My Open Math, and Algebra Review, they add up to 300 points. 250 for homework, the other two, 20 and 30. Final is comprehensive, 300 points. Bear in mind, as far as your homework is concerned, normally students get very close to 100% simply because there is no time limit when you start the homework as long as it's done before the due date. And it's a point system. The total point is 1,000 points. Okay. Just your lowest grade before the final among the first four exams may be replaced by the final if the final exam is good, that means 80% or higher, or B. And homework must be at least 95%. And more importantly, this action will result in a higher letter grade. And here's the synopsis of your grading policy. As I said, it's a point system. We get a total of 1,000 points. 90% or higher, that means 900 to 1,000 is an A. 80%, that means 800 all the way to 899 is a B, so on and so forth. There's no makeup. Remember, uh, the exam takes place on Saturdays. In the beginning of the week, you receive the information, including the password. And if you miss that, you can find it under the announcements. So you have the entire week. You can take it anytime you want, as long as it's before the expiration time. But if something comes up and you have proper documentation acceptable by campus, then I can give you a makeup exam. A course late work policy, please don't use that. You may use a late pass for the first few modules, not for the algebra review or the introduction to my open math or the exams. And it gives you, there's a 10% deduction and it gives you 72 hours, a few days. CSULB 36, I want to discuss that based on the research that I've noticed if you take a 12 if you take 12 units and you need 36 hours to do well. So having said that, for this course, which is a 3-unit course, we need 9 hours to do well. Okay, and there are other information such as dropping otherwise. As far as summary steps to success, you have to read your notes, study the corresponding sections to the PowerPoints, create a formula sheet. You cannot use it for the exam, but it helps to help to get you ready for the exam. And the office hours are posted at the bottom of the homepage, as I mentioned, as well as here. Going back to the homepage of Canvas, so we discussed the syllabus. The next one is modules. Modules, under the modules, we can find just about everything we need, like the practice test, the PowerPoints. That's where we do our homework and so forth. But I want to go over a discussion forum, doesn't take long. Again, you can click on it right here or on the left navigation bar, makes no difference. You see two of them. The first one is the student bios. I put mine as an example, everybody, so you can see what I did. And I appreciate if you put yours. You don't have to, okay? And you can read about your fellow students if you want to answer, and please do so with utmost respect. Also, frequently asked question. Before you ask any question, please read this. This shouldn't take more than a couple of minutes of your time. For example, do I need a course ID? No, you don't need it because you're going to register through Canvas here with my open math. And as we scroll down, the last question that I put in, this comes up, where to find the exam password. I'm mentioning it right now, but it happens every semester. Students ask that, and I have no idea why. They didn't pay attention to this recording, or they didn't read the frequently asked questions. As I mentioned, you can find it under the announcement when the time comes under the same topic. For example, exam one, exam two, so on and so forth. So going back to the homepage of the Canvas, we are going to cover the modules. Now, again, you can click on it here or right here, makes no difference. When you get to the modules, the very first one is my open math. The other one is the recorded lectures. I'm going to go over them at the end. Then we have the prereq module. What is this? This is the information you may need as prior knowledge of mathematics, such as algebra review, practice for algebra review, okay, pre-calculus, trigonometric review. So that's the prerequisite. But exam one module, it starts from here, everybody. So again, as an example right here, for example, if you click on this one, it brings you some algebra review. Take a look at the topics that are covered here, all the way from equations to conic sections. Again, if you need to brush up on your past knowledge of mathematics, pretty much everything is given to you here, okay? So these are some practice tests. Now, exam one module. This is what we are concerned with. I'm assuming you look at this if you need that, okay? But exam one module, then exam two, three, four modules, they are similar, so I'm going to cover only one of them, exam one module. And at the end, this is an extra resource, graphing calculators, okay, and final exam review. So I want to quickly show you this, graphing calculator, because it gives you a chance. If you look at this one, first of all, it gives you a bunch of online calculators. Also, it gives you a chance if you could download the emulator and make it work. And sometimes it doesn't work, everybody, because I've had some issues before. It will give you this calculator. Okay, it can give you this calculator. Again, if you can make it work, which is a graphing calculator in case you need it. Okay. And then we have TI calculator commands. Okay. I'm going to go back to the modules again. The very last module starts with this resource, and then we have the final exam. So I'm going to go back again. I'm going to remind you this is also some resources, prereqs, okay, algebra review. I'm going to show you what you find in exam one. Okay, so right here, the first one, this is the exam review, exam one review. The reason I put it first, because I want you to spend a couple of minutes reading it, so you see what is covered in this exam. The second one, okay, the second one here, are the PowerPoints that are covered. Everything is here. So when I go over the PowerPoints, you can find them right here, everybody. Okay. Very straightforward. So everything is here. You don't have to write any definitions. You don't have to write any formulas. Everything is given to you. You don't have to write the examples. So what do you have to write? The solution to those examples. We are going to do step by step. In fact, today we're going to start that. So again, basically you have a minimum amount of writing. So again, we are looking at the exam one module. So the first one was the exam review. The second one are the PowerPoints. We're going to start with one of them today. And what is the last one? Is the key to the practice test. So all you have to do in order for you to get ready for the exam per module, do one or maximum 2 questions per day. So under this module that says exam 1 module, what do you find? Exam review, that I expect you to do 1 or 2 per day, that's all. PowerPoints, you don't have to write anything as far as formulas, definitions are concerned, examples. All you have to write is the solution to the examples we are going to do step by step. Finally, the third one is the key to that practice test that was mentioned. And on the week of the exam, I will go over that with more details. So I'm going to go back to the homepage. We covered everything here. What do we find under the modules? The very first one we haven't covered yet. We find the prerequisite, such as algebra review, exam 1 module, and as far as we do exam 1 module, then the rest of them repeat in their own format. Graphing calculator is given to you here, and the commands, and the final exam review. So going back to the first one, what do we find here? Take a look at the second one, which is the recorded practice test. So these are practice tests and PowerPoint's recordings from the past. Everything from A to Z is here, everybody. Okay? Everything from A to Z. So that's where you find that. What is the first one? You click on it and you register for your digital platform by OpenMath. So just like anything else, you make up a username password, and it's easiest that you use the same username password you use for example, your email address or whatever, so you remember it. And then when you do that, it will take you to my OpenMath. So I want to discuss that. So going back to the homepage of Canvas again, and I'm going to leave the student mode. So as far as you're concerned, just about everything takes place under the modules. And the top one has the recorded practice test and lectures, as well as the way to get to my OpenMath. You have to register with it. And again, remember, here, that's what we are going to do the work for the first exam. And the second one is where you find the PowerPoints. So it takes you to my OpenMath. What do you find there? First and foremost, introductory assignment that basically shows you how to work with my OpenMath. Then we have the algebra review. Then we have the pre-calculus course description. And then look at the calendar. By the way, over here, you can choose the number of weeks. I've chosen 4. Notice this homework is coming up immediately. I expect you to start doing it today. And then the AR algebra review. Please understand, exams take place on Saturdays except the final. So look at all this homework. Should I do all this homework before the first exam? the day before the exam, which is due? Absolutely not. When I finish a section, I expect you to do the homework. If you wait until that time, you're going to get behind. So I hope everybody's clear. By the way, at the top, I didn't expand this. I'm going to expand this. Exams are found under this module, exams. Okay. All right. So module 0, I'm going to give you the name first. See, it says resources. Modules 1, 2, 3, 4 are just like the modules 1 through 4 in Canvas. They cover what we cover. So I'm going to quickly show you. Module 0 has the information that you need. For example, here's your text. You can view it online or you can download it as a PDF. Uh, it's a text that is online. You don't have to, download it or anything. You have access to it, okay, all the time. We scroll down, it explains about how to use a LatePass, gradebook. You read the gradebook in MyOpenMath as to what it is. And a bunch of free online calculators that was in the syllabus is also here. And those are resources. Now, if you don't need those resources, okay, you don't have to expand it, but take a look at it, see what's given to you. Also, I want to look at the very last module. This module, again, it says module review not created. This is prior knowledge of mathematics, everybody. Okay? So I've put all the resources that you may need. You can find them in Canvas. You can find them in MyOpenMath. And again, these are various chapters. Chapter 1, functions, linear functions, complex numbers. This is not being graded. This is just available as a resource. What do we need to do? We're going to start with module 1. If you click on the homeworks here, it shows up here. You can do them right over here. But I highly recommend you click on module 1. Why? You start with the first one, you expand this one. Notice it discusses the learning objectives. We go to the first section, gives you some video lessons. I highly recommend you watch them, see if you like them, if they work good for you. And then some video examples. Then you have video assignment 5.1, 5.1b, and 5.1, the angles. Those are video assignments, and these are the actual assignments. Please start with the video assignments because, again, as mentioned, these are videos. They are really easy to follow. And if you finish them, then you will have an easy time going to this one because this is not a video assignments. Okay. Although in some cases, there are helps. For example, we have a video help here for question 1, question 2, question 3 doesn't have it. So please, when you start with the first module, make sure you spend a couple of minutes on these video lessons. You may like them. In the past, I've had students who were really interested in those videos. They thought they did an amazing job, and you may find them very helpful. So I want to go back up and show you how we do our assignments. So you start the assignments, for example, right here. And you enter. Notice the first question says just enter this number. If I click on this box, math palette shows up. I'm going to put 27.2972. Then the next one says, okay, round it to the nearest hundreds. So 27.299. 9 next to it is 7 becomes 10. So therefore we have 3 0 or just 3. Can I divide by 0? No. It's undefined, but they don't have undefined. DNE does not exist. So submit the question. Look at the check marks. That means everything is fine. I'm going to move on to the next question. The next question is asking for 1/3 to be converted to a decimal. As you know, it's 0.3 bar. But what does it say? Enter 4 or more decimals. So I'm going to put 1 decimal on purpose. And I submit the question, and obviously I'm wrong. So what do I do? Do I move on? No. I'm going to get a similar question because I want to nail that. It happened to give me the same question. This time I'm going to put many, many decimals. And now when I submit it, I get my full credit. And I continue with the rest of the questions. Or something comes up, I can't finish it. I'm going to click on done. Notice what happened. The first couple of questions, we have a check mark. I got my points. And if I do not go back until it expires, I will get the points for those. I don't have to do anything. However, before the expiration, if I click on resume, I can continue. Of course, I'm going to exit. So here's the synopsis of what we did. Here's the homepage of Canvas. First, there was a welcoming message, then the philosophy. The Zoom meeting is on the left side, not at the bottom. This is the office hours. Discussion forum has a couple of discussions. One of them is student bio, one of them is frequently asked questions. Under the syllabus, we find the syllabus and a calendar. And under modules, pretty much we find everything. The first one, we register for my open math. The second one, practice test. This is prerequisite module. If you're comfortable with algebra, you don't need that. Okay, we start with the exam one module, and today we're going to start. This is the second one where you can find the PowerPoints. You don't have to uh, write anything until we get to the examples and we work them out. So this is the solution to the practice test. These are the PowerPoints, and this is exam one. And in my open math, at the very top, you see mandatory assignment. To my open math, algebra review, and you see the homework. Module 0, bunch of resources. Last module, review of functions and algebra. We start with 5.1. Watch the video lessons, video examples, video assignments, and the actual assignments. So I hope you see it's pretty straightforward, everybody. Okay. And it's pretty easy to follow. Okay, I wish you all best of luck and happy studying, everybody. Let me see if I can stop this because sometimes it's not easy to do so. It's not stopping for some reason.